Guten Tag, grüezi miteinander. Hello, my name is Eve. Today I will talk to you about corporate housing in Basel. So, my husband's company put us in Kleinbasel, and anyone that does not live in Kleinbasel, they live in Gross Basel, will have this kind of reaction. Your company put you there? Oh my goodness, there's so many immigrants there. So, I had a really good experience living in Kleinbasel. Yes, there are a lot of immigrants there, but in my experience, all of them were very nice, very hardworking, and their children were really well behaved. Of course, in any city, there's going to be sections that might not be so great, but in the corporate housing we were staying at, I felt very safe. And our location in corporate housing was amazing because we were really close to the grocery markets. There were tons of parks around us. It's really close to the Tierpark, which is a free zoo, and the creek for my kids to swim in. And it was really close to a bus stop and just a quick tram ride to the bigger part of the city where you can go to the mall and things like that. But it was a perfect location. We absolutely loved it. So one thing you should be aware of is with corporate housing, don't assume that your company is paying insurance on it. So make sure you ask your coordinator about insurance before you enter corporate housing. We did not do this because we assumed my husband's company was taking care of everything. They weren't. We actually didn't know about this until a week and a half later, and then my husband wrote them, and they're like, oh yeah, you have to do this and that. So make sure you get the proper insurance before you enter corporate housing. So before you leave to go to Switzerland, make sure you tell your coordinator your flight information, and when you get through customs in Switzerland, make sure you communicate with them and say, hey, I'm about to take a taxi to corporate housing, so they're there when you arrive. My husband accidentally gave them the wrong time, and so we were waiting outside of our corporate housing building for a while, and then once he called them saying, hey, I wrote down the wrong time, can you please come? They had to rush over. Another thing you should know, especially if you have young babies and toddlers, is in a lot of corporate housing and houses that you may rent, they do not bolt the furniture to the wall. In America, most people do bolt their furniture to the wall so their dresser won't crush their baby. And if your child likes to climb things, it's gonna fall. So just be aware that some of the furniture may not be bolted to the wall, and if you put everything on top, it's gonna tip over. Another thing you should know is that in some corporate housing, houses you rent or apartments you will be in, they may not have carbon monoxide detectors, fire alarms, or fire extinguishers. I know in California that is very regulated for people who rent their apartments and houses. You'll see carbon monoxide fire detectors in every single room, in the hallway. There's always a fire extinguisher that comes in the kitchen. But in Switzerland, there's literally nothing. And it was a bit shocking to me. I actually went to Jumbo, which is equivalent to Home Depot or Lowe's, and I bought a bunch of carbon monoxide detectors and fire alarms and fire extinguishers. So when you enter your corporate housing apartment, your coordinator will give you keys. They will give you a garage key and tell you the rules of the building, such as in some corporate housing you can't do laundry on Sundays, but she told us to ignore that because the apartments here are built so well, the walls are so thick, you can't hear above you, below you, in the hallway, so no one can even hear when you're doing laundry on Sunday. But some people in some apartment buildings are very strict. You cannot do laundry on Sundays, and they don't want you recycling on Sundays, especially the glass recycling. It will say no recycling on Sundays because the loudness of the glass, I guess, being smashed in those bins. What was really nice, when we entered our apartment, there was already food on the table, there was already drinks in the fridge. The kitchen was fully stocked with plates and silverware and a a coffee maker, and so on. They had towels, blankets, pillows, beds. It was completely furnished. So after a long flight, you don't have to rush out to the grocery store real quick. It was really nice having everything there, and we can just order a pizza that night and situate our suitcases and unpack. Your company will hire cleaning people to come clean your apartment one time every 2 weeks, and they will clean the sinks, the toilets, the showers, the floor, and so on. They will knock on the door, and if you're there, they'll say, "Is it okay if you come and clean now?" It's no problem. If you're not there, they'll just come and clean up and then leave again. They were very nice, very professional. I didn't worry about them taking anything. You will see people hanging their laundry on racks outside on their porch, but it cannot go above the balcony. If you have allergies, I would not recommend you hang your clothes on a drying rack outside in Switzerland during spring and summer, because when you go to shake the clothes, all this dust and pollen will come out of your clothes. So if all of a sudden you're having allergies, you're like, why am I suffering with allergies right now? Did you hang your clothes outside? That's not a good idea. Put it in the dryer. But I should mention, if you're going to put it in the dryer, make sure you turn on the vents and always air out your apartment or your house every single day, even if it's raining, even if it's cold. So while you're in corporate housing, you will be given a few months to look for a more permanent house or apartment. Your coordinator will ask you what is really important to you. Like, is it important that there are parks nearby? Is it important that the school is really good? So what will happen is your coordinator will take you to different apartments and houses. And you will look at these apartments and houses, and then you will choose which one you want, and you have to write a letter and have a picture on there. Something you should know that surprised us is a lot of houses that you rent or apartments, they don't come with lights. So you will have to invest in some light fixtures, and some landlords don't feel comfortable with you installing them yourself. So you will have to hire an electrician, and they charge a good amount per hour. So all the things you shipped by boat or by plane will come very quickly, and that will get delivered, and you just have to make sure that if they scuff up your wall, they break anything, you have to report it immediately so you don't get charged for it. So when you go get the keys to your apartment or your house, they will have a professional photographer to take pictures of every single room in the house. So if you break anything or scuff anything, they will charge you for that when you leave. And then when you leave to go back to a different house or America, you will have to hire a professional cleaner to clean the house. So just be aware of that. So my husband and I decided to rent furniture, and we had a bit of bad luck on the first delivery. We got a defective lamp, the chairs were wobbly, one had a bolt in it. They didn't bring all the parts for the wardrobe. The cabinets were locked. We couldn't open it to open the cabinet and use the cabinet. But the beds were really comfortable. This couch was really nice. The other furniture was fine. So they righted their wrong and they brought back furniture that was better quality and worked. What are the benefits of renting furniture? One, it's really good for the environment because you're reusing furniture. Two, it doesn't cost much money at all to rent furniture. And if you're not going to live here for the rest of your life, why are you going to waste money buying furniture? And everything's already set up. You order a bed comes fully assembled, and you can sleep that night on your bed. You don't have to take the time to build all the furniture. You don't have to take the time to move everything. You don't have to worry about getting rid of boxes your furniture comes in, because your movers will take everything back with them. So you don't have to worry about having a bunch of random boxes to get rid of. You don't have to worry about when you move to give away or sell your furniture. You just call them up, hey, we don't need our furniture anymore, and they'll just come and pick it up, and then someone else can reuse it. So we We also don't have to carry it all in our house, which is nice if you don't have the time to do that. If you, for instance, have to start your job immediately, or your kids have to start school immediately, or there's so many things you have to do when you move to a new country. I feel like ever since we moved here, every day I have to figure something new out. It's getting easier month by month, but you gotta figure it out. Even the baby sack, or how to recycle properly. And where do you buy a baby sock? You can buy it at the grocery store, whether it's a Migros or a Coop. Some Coops and Migros only carry 1 or 2 sizes. The bigger Coops, they will carry all the sizes. Sometimes you can buy the baby sock in the kiosk or from the cashier, but there's 35 liters or 60 liters, and there's a few other sizes. And if you're in corporate housing, there are bins marked baby sock outside of your corporate building. You just dump the baby sock in there. You cannot throw your trash in a regular, normal black trash bag because you did not pay a tax. If you do this, the trash people will rip the bag open and find receipts, and they will find you and fine you. So make sure you always use a baby sock for your trash. Don't think you can be all sneaky, putting your trash in a normal trash bag and throw it in the baby sock container. It doesn't work that way. Don't do it. Just follow the rules. You're in Switzerland. Come on.
Paper and cardboard recycling comes once a month. Sometimes in corporate housing, they put a dumpster out and you throw everything in there. Other times you have to buy a schnur and you have to bind up your paper or your cardboard. But I see a lot of people using paper bags. So do what makes sense to you, and you set that out the night before it comes. For your aluminum and glass recycling, you will see this usually at bus stops or parks. For all PET plastic recycling, it goes in a container usually in front of Coop, or you can buy a special bag and put all your plastic in, and your coffee pods for your coffee machine can usually be found in front of Migros.
If you have any questions about corporate housing, leave it in the comments below and I will try to answer them for you. Everyone's experience is different in corporate housing, but I just wanted to share our experience so you have an idea maybe what is going to happen, what's going on, how it works. I think what gave me the most anxiety about moving is not having all those tiny little details. I like knowing what's going to happen, not you'll get the information when you need it. No, I want all the information. I want all the little details. So that's why I made this video. I hope it's helpful. And if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Vielen Dank.